Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Be on the mind of. A commercial or industrial enterprise and the people who constitute it. A racially integrated business concern. Be relevant to. Something or someone that causes anxiety, a source of unhappiness. New York traffic is a constant concern. An anxious feeling. A feeling of sympathy for someone or something. She felt strong concern for those less fortunate. Something that interests you because it is important or affects you. The safety of the ship is the captain's concern. Be on the mind of. A reason for wanting something done. In the interest of safety. Be of importance or consequence. A diversion that occupies one's time and thoughts, usually pleasantly. He counts reading among his interests. The power of attracting or holding one's attention, because it is unusual or exciting, etc. They said nothing of great interest. A sense of concern with and curiosity about someone or something. An interest in music. Law. A right or legal share of something, a financial involvement with something. They have interests all over the world. Usually plural, a social group whose members control some field of activity and who have common aims. The iron interests stepped up production. A fixed charge for borrowing money, usually a percentage of the amount borrowed. How much interest do you pay on your mortgage? Excite the curiosity of. Engage the interest of. Consume all of one's attention or time. Be on the mind of. Require, time or space. Occupy the whole of. Assume, as of positions or roles. The young prince will soon occupy the throne. March aggressively into another's territory by military force for the purposes of conquest and occupation. Keep busy with. Live, in a certain place. Be on the mind of. I worry about the second Germanic consonant shift. Something or someone that causes anxiety, a source of unhappiness. It's a major worry. Be concerned with. I worry about my grades. Disturb the peace of mind of. Afflict with mental agitation or distress. I cannot sleep. My daughter's health is worrying me. A strong feeling of anxiety. His worry over the prospect of being fired. Be worried, concerned, anxious, troubled, or uneasy. I worry about my job. Lacerate by biting. Touch or rub constantly. A commercial or industrial enterprise and the people who constitute it. He bought his brother's business. Incidental activity performed by an actor for dramatic effect. His business with the cane was hilarious. The principal activity in your life that you do to earn money. He's not in my line of business. Business concerns collectively. Government and business could not agree. Customers collectively. The activity of providing goods and services involving financial and commercial and industrial aspects. Computers are now widely used in business. An immediate objective. Gossip was the main business of the evening. A rightful concern or responsibility. It's none of your business. The volume of commercial activity. Business is good today. A commercial or industrial enterprise and the people who constitute it. A racially integrated business concern. A commercial or industrial enterprise and the people who constitute it. A commercial or industrial enterprise and the people who constitute it. Press, drive, or impel someone to action or completion of an action. Be relevant to. Have an effect upon. Keep or maintain in unaltered condition. Cause to remain or last. Be relevant to. Return to consciousness. Cause to experience suddenly. Attain. Be relevant to. Be relevant to. My remark pertained to your earlier comments. Be a part or attribute of. Be relevant to. There were lots of questions referring to her talk. Seek information from. Refer to your notes. Have as a meaning. Make reference to. Send or direct for treatment, information, or a decision. Refer a patient to a specialist. Think of, regard, or classify under a subsuming principle or with a general group or in relation to another. This plant can be referred to a known species. Use a name to designate. Christians refer to the mother of Jesus as the Virgin Mary. Make a logical or causal connection. I cannot relate these events at all. Be relevant to. Be in a relationship with. How are these two observations related? Give an account of. The witness related the events. Have or establish a relationship to. She relates well to her peers. A distinguishing style. This room needs a woman's touch. Make a more or less disguised reference to. Consume. She didn't touch her food all night. The event of something coming in contact with the body. He longed for the touch of her hand. Be relevant to. A suggestion of some quality. There was a touch of sarcasm in his tone. Have an effect upon. The act of putting two things together with no space between them. At his touch the room filled with lights. Be equal to in quality or ability. Your performance doesn't even touch that of your colleagues. A communicative interaction. He got in touch with his colleagues. A slight attack of illness. He has a touch of rheumatism. Affect emotionally. I was touched by your kind letter of sympathy. The faculty by which external objects or forces are perceived through contact with the body, especially the hands. Only sight and touch enable us to locate objects in the space around us. Tamper with. Don't touch my CDs. To extend as far as. The chair must not touch the wall. A slight but appreciable amount. This dish could use a touch of garlic. Be in direct physical contact with. Make contact. The two buildings touch. The sensation produced by pressure receptors in the skin. She likes the touch of silk on her skin. Color lightly. Cause to be in brief contact with. He touched his toes to the horse's flanks. Comprehend. He could not touch the meaning of the poem. Deal with. Usually used with a form of negation. I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. Deftness in handling matters. He has a master's touch. Make physical contact with, come in contact with. She never touched her husband. Perceive via the tactile sense. Helen Keller felt the physical world by touching people and objects around her. The act of soliciting money, as a gift or loan. He watched the beggar trying to make a touch. The feel of mechanical action. This piano has a wonderful touch. Restore by replacing a part or putting together what is torn or broken. Be relevant to. Have an effect upon. Refer to or discuss briefly. Pain in the head caused by dilation of cerebral arteries or muscle contractions or a reaction to drugs. Something or someone that causes anxiety, a source of unhappiness. Anger produced by some annoying irritation. Something or someone that causes anxiety, a source of unhappiness. The psychological state of being irritated or annoyed. The act of troubling or annoying someone. Prefer or wish to do something. Do you care to try this dish? The work of providing treatment for or attending to someone or something. No medical care was required. Judiciousness in avoiding harm or danger. He handled the vase with care. Be concerned with. Provide care for. Attention and management implying responsibility for safety. He is in the care of a bodyguard. An anxious feeling. Care had aged him. Activity involved in maintaining something in good working order. He wrote the manual on car care. Be in charge of, act on, or dispose of. A cause for feeling concern. His major care was the illness of his wife. Feel concern or interest. I really care about my work. Regard with feelings of respect and reverence. Consider hallowed or exalted or be in awe of. Be afraid or scared of, be frightened of. I fear the winters in Moscow. An anxious feeling. They hushed it up out of fear of public reaction. A feeling of profound respect for someone or something. The fear of God. An emotion experienced in anticipation of some specific pain or danger, usually accompanied by a desire to flee or fight. Be afraid or feel anxious or apprehensive about a possible or probable situation or event. I fear she might get aggressive. Be sorry. Used to introduce an unpleasant statement. I fear I won't make it to your wedding party. Be uneasy or apprehensive about. I fear the results of the final exams. Readiness to embark on bold new ventures. A purposeful or industrious undertaking, especially one that requires effort or boldness. He had doubts about the whole enterprise. An organization created for business ventures. A growing enterprise must have a bold leader. A stimulus with undesirable consequences. Psychiatry. A relatively permanent state of worry and nervousness occurring in a variety of mental disorders, usually accompanied by compulsive behavior or attacks of panic. A vague unpleasant emotion that is experienced in anticipation of some, usually ill-defined, misfortune. Sharing the feelings of others, especially feelings of sorrow or anguish. Sharing the feelings of others, especially feelings of sorrow or anguish. An inclination to support or be loyal to or to agree with an opinion. A relation of affinity or harmony between people. Whatever affects one correspondingly affects the other. The two of them were in close sympathy. A usually secretive or illicit sexual relationship. The act of sharing in the activities of a group. The condition of sharing in common with others, as fellows or partners, etc. A sense of concern with and curiosity about someone or something. A connection of inclusion or containment. He escaped involvement in the accident. A business engaged in manufacturing some product. The members of a business organization that owns or operates one or more establishments. A radio wave that can be modulated in order to transmit a signal. Medicine. A person, or animal, who has some pathogen to which he is immune but who can pass it on to others. Someone whose employment involves carrying something. The bonds were transmitted by carrier. A large warship that carries planes and has a long flat deck for takeoffs and landings. A man who delivers the mail. A boy who delivers newspapers. A person or firm in the business of transporting people or goods or messages. An inactive substance that is a vehicle for a radioactive tracer of the same substance and that assists in its recovery after some chemical reaction. A rack attached to a vehicle, for carrying luggage or skis or the like. A self-propelled wheeled vehicle designed specifically to carry something. Refrigerated carriers have revolutionized the grocery business. Genetics. An organism that possesses a recessive gene whose effect is masked by a dominant allele. The associated trait is not apparent but can be passed on to offspring. British biochemist, born in Germany, who isolated and purified penicillin, which had been discovered in 1928 by Sir Alexander Fleming, 1906 to 1979. A necklace made by stringing objects together. Chemistry. A series of linked atoms, generally in an organic molecule. A series of hills or mountains. A series of things depending on each other as if linked together. The chain of command. A linked or connected series of objects. A chain of daisies. Anything that acts as a restraint. A series of, usually metal, rings or links fitted into one another to make a flexible ligament. A unit of length. Business. A number of similar establishments, stores or restaurants or banks or hotels or theaters, under one ownership. Connect or arrange into a chain by linking. Fasten or secure with chains. A person or firm in the business of transporting people or goods or messages.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.